Scott, we're live.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am alive.
Definitely alive.
Totally a human.
It's stream time.
A robot. Yes.
It's stream
It
time.
is stream time.
Yep.
Preston couldn't make it today. He is. He's got the Rona.
He's got the Rona.
And he's recovering.
Yep.
So we decided to give him a break, and
so here we are.
You get us again.
The maniacal laugh is good because I have my villain hair on today. When the hair gets too long, like I do the comb back, I look
you're an '80s villain.
Yeah, I look like an '80s villain. I need to get one of those switchblade combs so that I can keep templing it up. Yeah.
Welcome everybody, Brian P, Richard Watts,
Casey. Welcome.
Casey.
Yeah, it's good to have you all here. Y'all voted. Or not.
And if you didn't, why didn't you?
Too bad.
Get in Discord.
Join our Discord.
You should have voted.
Hello, Eric. Welcome.
Hello.
Y'all voted for what we are going to be painting tonight, and it was overwhelmingly the Phoenix.
Yes.
So
from the ashes.
Yep. Let's show off the Phoenix that we are going to be painting tonight. At least first.
Yeah.
Depending on
we'll see how fast it.
How fast it goes. Now you've got this on a clear stand or a clear. Butt post.
A clear rug, yes, a butt post.
So
the original one just is supposed to attach with this and this, but they're way too flimsy and flexible, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I decided to drill some holes and.
Do we remember where this is from?
This is from a.
They mostly do like anime.
They do like JRPG stuff.
JRPG.
Yeah, and they did a Phoenix,
stuff,
and this is just really cool. I like his little face.
It got outvoted, by a lot. By a lot. What did you vote for, Richard? Because if it wasn't the Phoenix, apparently it didn't matter.
yeah. The Phoenix.
Voted for the Axe Beak.
Nice.
For Brian, that's pretty good. Griffin for Richard.
Which I've got the Griffin right here still.
It's Bird Night. It sounds like.
It is Bird Night, yeah.
Cacaw, bitches.
You got the Axe Beak right here.
Yeah, it looks great. We also have another owl bear, which technically is a bird. It's just missing a beak.
Half bird.
Yeah.
Nothing else is a bird unless you consider a basilisk flying through the air a bird.
Look, lizards and birds are really close, okay?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, they're
dinosaurs and stuff. Yeah.
They have a common ancestor, that's for sure. But yeah, so unfortunately we're happy to be here, but unfortunately
Preston couldn't make it.
We actually didn't even have game night last night, which is sad. I always feel a little bittersweet about not having game night, because on the one hand I'm like, it sucks that we're not playing D&D and we're not getting another episode recorded, which there shouldn't be any delay in release, just so you guys know. But at the same time, I kind of feel bad that I feel some relief at not having to run a game.
Well, I have a feeling it has to do with, it's a lot of prep work, and it's always, for me at least, it's always a big panic. Mm-hmm. Right before game night, it's like, oh my god, I don't have anything done.
Yep, and that was kind of the case this time, too. So that was nice to be able to relax. But yeah, Preston was sick, and Dallin's kids are sick.
Which means he might be getting sick too.
We wanted to just kind of pull back for a week and just see how things go.
Yeah, have everyone take care of themselves, and
we survived a full concert without getting sick, which is nice.
Yep.
Took our masks to it and. Didn't worry about anybody around us that wasn't wearing masks, or tried not to. Obviously, panic is panic, and anxiety is a big issue.
But it wasn't Panic at the Disco.
No, it wasn't Panic at the Disco. I'd go see Panic at the Disco.
They're not bad.
Yeah,
I've seen them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They came with Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, did they? They're kind of the same.
Yeah, it's the same band.
Yeah,
Fall Out Boy just came on again.
Yeah, they just came on again.
And started playing them.
Yep.
Please keep your sickness in Utah. We'll try.
Yeah, we
really don't have any control over
but
the
it is Utah, so...
Yeah. Brian said he wants to see pink dodos, which I think the axe beak being painted pink would
like
be
a flamingo?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Tropical axe beak.
Yeah.
Actually, technically, I think they're already tropical, but...
I'll look them up.
We'll have to look them up.
You're the Googler, I'm the painter.
Tonight, that I'm going to mention several times, is... you see the list. We've already, it's the same list that we had last time that you can vote on. It's just growing smaller as we get stuff painted, which means we're going to need more stuff to paint.
Yeah.
And we want to kind of stick with, general monsters in the monster manual for the time being. So if you have any recommendations,
some ideas, if we don't already have it,
chat. Yeah, if we don't already have it, we'll print it. Yeah, we'll find a really good one and print it and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, some like D&D monster manual stuff, some classic monsters. Hell, even like horror monster stuff, like classic horror monster stuff would be okay too.
Yep. A phoenix.
A phoenix
is one of those interesting monsters that everybody knows about.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, give me more than 3 instances in movies or popular media that you've seen them in.
I don't even know if I could give you 3. I mean, Harry Potter, obviously.
Yeah, Harry Potter's the big one, right? Phoenix. Ooh, an on-keg. That's a great idea.
Ooh, are you going to write these down?
Yep, I am going to be writing these down. They are just going to be chatted to you throughout the night.
That's fine. My phone all night long.
On keg, print me like one of your French girls. French girl is definitely not a monster that we've ever printed before. Ooh la la. Yet. It's like weird science.
I'm sure I could find something.
Yep. Yeah, so Harry Potter.
God, I'm trying to think of any others, honestly. I know they're out there, and you're going to say them, and I'm going to go, yeah, okay.
No, I can't think of any beyond Harry Potter myself. I was just giving you a higher bar.
I see how it is. Rules for thee, but not for me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the one positing the questions. I don't have to answer them. If you guys know of any other movies or popular, like, and we're talking popular media here, like obviously, like
there's obscure stuff I'm sure out there.
Like Magic the Gathering has a whole lot of phoenixes in it all the time. Go check them out. The artwork is always amazing. They have a really cool owl phoenix that I kind of based Embarrass on.
Oh yeah.
Which this phoenix was supposed to be, by the way. This phoenix was supposed to be an upgraded version of Embarrass that you guys were going to fight after the Crystal and Count fight. When you guys thought everything was all said and done.
Really?
Yeah, you guys were going to be like, we used up a bunch of resources on this final fight, and holy crap, we did it. And then I was going to have, like, the Rumble, and I was going to do, like, a full, like, you go to the top of the keep, and you fight him with, like, the ballista that I had you print, and we were gonna do like he's flying around and damaging, and then he was gonna summon like lava creatures and everything. But by the time we got to this point, I went, oh, we've spent enough time in Hollowbend, and we don't need to spend any more time.
So Phoenix is generally like fiery.
Phoenix Wright and Joaquin Phoenix. You're right. My apologies.
Okay, 2 popular Phoenixes.
More. Yep, that's our 3. River Phoenix, rip.
River Tam.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is full of them, although they are spelled with an F instead of a Foe.
Really? Instead of
a Phoenix Down is Fenix, I believe. Yep. Phoenix. I love the Phoenix Wright reference. That's great. Or should I object to it?
I have heard that so many times from Drawfee. I don't really even know what it is.
So Phoenix Wright is Ace Attorney. Right.
Okay. An attorney?
He is the Ace Attorney. From the titular JRPG murder mystery courtroom
so it's a video game.
Yeah, it's like a video game where you have to like find clues and call people out on their lies and stuff in the game.
Oh, okay.
And the character, you've probably seen the character around. I'm going to
just grab my iPad. It's right there. This important.
Yeah, but this is easier because I can actually type.
But then you're turned away. And no one can hear you. Can you guys hear Corey? He's saying all kinds of racist stuff right now.
That's why I turned away.
Oh, I see.
This guy is Phoenix Wright.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
okay,
you've
I've seen a
him
picture of it, yeah.
Yep. And then the other one, which here's a picture of them in love, is Miles Edgeworth, and he's a prosecutor as to Phoenix Wright's defender.
Oh, okay.
Defender. And Edgeworth has his own like set of games that you also go through.
Like in the same game or separately?
A separate franchise, basically, in the same universe.
All right.
And if you guys haven't ever watched Jello Apocalypse on YouTube, he does amazing work. He does some animation stuff. He's done a couple things. He's actually a voice actor, an anime voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
But he got a couple of his anime friends together, and they did a full playthrough of like the Miles Edgeworth game, and made fun of it the whole time and everything with like full voice work, and it was really good. Like, I would highly recommend it. But yeah, I mean, as far as like actual phoenixes, full flesh and blood or fire,
Phoenix Eye, if you will,
fire and feather, Jean Grey, aka Phoenix. Yes,
Yeah.
technically correct.
Okay.
I did not specify enough. I set the bar too low. That's on me.
Yep, that is on you.
Yep.
Technically correct, the best kind of correct.
Firebird from Fantasia 2000. There's an obscure reference that I haven't heard in a while. Not obscure, just old, I suppose. It's an old meme, but it checks out. Or it's an old movie.
An old movie.
Phoenix Gate in Gargoyles. Is that a actual Phoenix, or is that just another person named Phoenix? It seems like there's more people named Phoenix than there are.
We had a cousin that went by Phoenix for a little while.
Yeah, go by Phoenix for a little bit. Yeah.
He has since grown out of that phase, but yes, that was very much a I am building an identity for myself type of thing.
There's a Supernatural episode where a Phoenix is hiding in a sheriff. Does he burst out violently at the end, or is it just like, I'm disguised as the sheriff? Because I'm interested in what that is.
He's puppeting the sheriff's body around. It's just like a skin suit, and there's a beak sticking out of the mouth. You know? Yeah. Okay.
I almost tried to start like doing a voice for the character, but what was about to come out of my mouth was not the actual name of the brothers, which I can't remember in that show. They're the Winchesters.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, "You Duke boys," which is definitely wrong.
I mean, they're just the their car, their Impala is just the General Lee of Mystics, right?
It's true. But yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. He appeared in human form and couldn't be killed. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, but it's just interesting that like we talked about the Hydra last week, and we've talked about like the Phoenix, and like Minotaurs fall in this category. A Medusa, you know, technically
Minotaur,
it's a
Pan's
gorgon.
Labyrinth, right? Isn't there one in Pan's Labyrinth?
I don't know if there's one in Pan's Labyrinth. There's one in. You might be thinking of the Minotaur bodyguard in the Golden Army. The Hellboy 2.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good movie. Really good movie.
I'm not usually an animal humanoid fan for D&D race, but now I kind of want a homebrew Phoenix-based race for one of my players.
Instead of like take like an Aarakocra or...
He likes dive bombs. Now it could be a fiery kamikaze dive bomb. I love it. I'm going to write down Phoenix race. That would be an interesting thing to do. Obviously, like, the main thing about Phoenix is that when they die, they get reborn, right?
Yeah.
And I think with the Phoenix race, you might do some limited version of that. Like, when they drop to 0 hit points, they can choose to die, and then within 1 hour, they are reborn, but they cannot do that again for, like, a year. You know, basically give them a jail, get a jail-free card or something.
Yeah. Maybe even, like, they could, but maybe they lose a level or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I know, like, a lot of people don't like mechanical stuff like that in their games, just because it does make it kind of cumbersome. Plus, when you're playing with a bunch of people, you kind of all want to be roughly the same.
Yeah.
But sometimes that kind of stuff, I like curses like that, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, you lose a level after if you hit the end of your exhaustion instead of dying. Like, it's a curse that doesn't let you die, but it slowly drops your level down to 1, you know?
I don't know if there was a Phoenix in Legends of Tomorrow, Casey.
There's Bebo.
Bebo is his own monster, I suppose. I don't remember. I mean, they had a bunch of mythical creatures. I don't know if they ever did a Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's not ringing any bells.
Level drain makes party balance really hard. Yeah, exactly.
It does.
They used to have that in 3.5, right? They used to.
But I feel like that's the point of the level drain is it gives your players another objective to do, right? Like maybe once the curse is gone, you gain your levels back, right?
That was the intention. I think for level drain was this powerful monster has the ability to weaken you so that you can continue to play the game and level up again, right? But it never worked like that. It just felt very punishing to have half of your abilities taken away in one shot. So, Scott, tell me what you're doing here, because
I'm painting a figure.
And how exactly are we doing this? Because phoenixes are made of fire. They're technically an elemental creature. Right?
Generally they're fire based. So fire is really freaking hard to paint and paint really well. And a lot of people paint. So normal painting is your darkest colors are.
Hello, Joe. Good luck with the Mines of Fandelver. Sorry.
Yeah. a lot of times when you paint stuff, it's the darkest colors are the deepest, and then it comes up to the next brightness, right? And you slowly go lighter and lighter and lighter as you go. But if you look at real fire, the tips of the fire is almost always red or like a deep dark purple, and the base of the fire is a yellow or sometimes even a white.
Okay.
Right.
Depending on how hot the fire
Depending
is.
on how
right?
hot it is, exactly.
Yeah.
But as
so
it gets
everybody
away,
does
it
fire
cools
the
off.
opposite way by accident because that's the way that paint typically works, and it doesn't look as good.
And it doesn't look as good. I've done it. Don't get me wrong. Like if someone's going to do that because it's easier for them to just like dry brush it, do it. That's fine. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
But you can red just as
with
easily
a little yellow on it, very recognizable as fire.
As fire, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. In fact, a lot of fire effects and stuff, I just use this paint and just slather it on really thick and call it good. So what I'm doing is I am doing if I was using my airbrush, I would blend, right? I would do like a blend between the two. But because I'm not, I think I'm just going to do each individual layer of feathers is like yellow, orange, red, and then like purple, right? On the very outside. This is the yellow. Yes.
Sorry, I'm kind of I'm partially colorblind.
You'll see. That's orange.
Not officially, yeah.
Yellow?
Yeah, okay, I get it. I see it now. Yeah. We always assume that I'm partially colorblind. I'm not, I can get through the tests just fine, but apparently subtleties are not on me.
Well, you can be not colorblind, but also still struggle with shades.
It's true.
Right?
Yep. Cory's concerned because Scott isn't using gasoline to paint the Phoenix.
Whoosh.
There's another popular Fall Out Boy song is about a Phoenix. Can't remember the name of it.
It's not.
I think it's called The Phoenix.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not just called The Phoenix.
I'm pretty sure. Well, it's a Fall Out Boy song, so
yeah.
It's either literally titled what it is, or it is. I decided to write this song while I was taking a crap.
Yeah.
By Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
It is just called The Phoenix. Thank you.
How's the chat? Go ahead and post the word banana.
Yeah, as soon as you hear this.
As soon as you hear it, banana. Because I want to see how fast the chat is. Because I changed some settings to see if it interacts quicker. Yeah, not bad.
Eric.
I mean, I can't speak for
it's about the
same intelligence
as,
of our audience, but
it's about the same as Twitch looks like now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Good. A little high end.
Yeah.
High end stuff. Yeah.
Ensure your Bunsen burner has a well-defined inner blue core. Or cone. Sorry.
Yeah, like if you're using a MAP gas for welding or whatever. Ooh, hey, don't you knock over. Phoenix, don't you knock over that paint. It will not come back from the dead.
No. Yeah, I'm going to look up if there's any other Phoenixes. Actual Phoenixes.
Phoenix Monster or something like that, yeah.
List of Phoenixes in popular culture. Wikipedia.
Another list! It's list time, everyone! We need a button that's like... No, not that one, but it's something else. It's gonna have to be some Zelda getting the item music.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get one put together. Yeah. I mean, this is just a Wikipedia list, so I don't know how much that is. A Phoenix bird person bard who goes full 80s rock star for their persona. Phoenix person technically is in Rick and Morty, which he's not technically a phoenix, but
he's a cyborg bird,
yes.
Yeah.
All right, so in film and television, in the daytime soap opera Dark Shadows, the character of Laura Murdoch Collins returns to Collinsport, Maine after a 10-year absence to gain custody of her son from her estranged husband Roger. It is revealed that Laura is an immortal phoenix in human form, and is nearly at the end of her 100-year lifespan, as she is granted in this storyline. Okay.
So she's immortal, but she has a 100-year lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Dark Shadows is a crazy soap opera. It's it's full horror soap opera, right?
Yeah. Like we're talking like Days of Our Lives style soap opera, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. But with vampires.
Huh.
The television series Charmed, a line of power-binding witches are called the Phoenix. Oh, that doesn't count. Sam and Dean travel back in time to recover the ashes of a phoenix to kill season's antagonist Eve. In this instance, it appears human, is able to burn a person to death merely by touching them.
Demon Lord Eve confirmed.
Yeah. Eve, yeah. It's coming. Just you wait. In the British football-based show Fantasy Football League, there was a regular feature called Phoenix from the Flames. No, that doesn't count. None of these are actual phoenixes. Battle of the Planets, the anime, had... No, that's the main ship is called the Phoenix. What?
This is bad.
This is Wikipedia, once again.
There's literally no... It's just Harry Potter. There's never been an actual bird.
Yeah.
Or has there? And we've just been like, is this sort of like similar to like a Mandela effect style? And there's been a ton of them we just don't remember.
Here's an interesting one. In the short-lived sci-fi television series and short-lived 4 episodes called The Phoenix in 1982, Judson Scott played a fugitive ancient astronaut named Bennu, the Egyptian name for the Phoenix, who used the sun's rays to charge a phoenix emblazoned medallion that provided special powers he used to save those he befriended on his journeys.
Interesting.
Yeah. I
can see why it was short-lived.
The Phoenix is the name of the first man-made spacecraft to travel faster than light in Star Trek.
Yep.
I
should have known that. Take away a geek point for me, please.
Sure. We'll do. I'll just snatch it out of there. No calories in the
You can eat all you want.
Yep. The animated series Conan the Adventurer, Needles is Conan's fledgling Phoenix sidekick. He possesses the ability to enter flat surfaces and magically transforms into a phoenix design, although he needs all his magical tail feathers to accomplish this feat, and loses this power if he loses one of them.
Okay.
He spent most of his time on Conan's shield as a phoenix design. When in public, Needle, who has the ability to speak, is often asked to impersonate a parrot in order not to arouse suspicion, an act which he greatly resents. Chronicles of Narnia had a phoenix.
Oh, see, I've only seen like 1 or 2 of those. Or
Yeah.
is it, I mean...
So that's the first one, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay. Is it the book only?
Nope, it's the 2005 movie. A phoenix bursts into flames and flies over the grass in front of the White Witch's lines, forming a wall of flame to guard Peter's retreat to safer ground. Ho-Oh does not count as a phoenix. That's a Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, Pokemon
has
are
a sacred
Pokemon
phoenix
are their
of
own.
Nephis.
Oh, did you hear about the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh that passed away?
No. More
Yeah.
death?
He died. It wasn't. I don't know how long ago it was, but he died saving a couple kids and trainees from a riptide, and
Holy
he ended up going out himself.
Oh,
so
that
he died
sucks.
a hero basically,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Let's see. X-Men, yeah. Fantasia 2000. Soap opera Days of Our Lives.
There's probably a guy named Phoenix or
He's
something.
Stefano de Mira is referred to as the Phoenix.
Wow, that's such a scary like boss name or mob name, right?
Bleach, but that's only a blade. In the television series John Doe, John sees a lot of Phoenix images and statuettes in red, and someone tells him that he is the Phoenix. I think what we're learning here is
Pretty much it
get
has to
out
be like
there and make some Phoenix content, people.
Yes.
I know that you're all like Hollywood bigwigs. Can you please have Phoenixes happen and Hydras as well?
Yes, a Phoenix, a Hydra that is a Phoenix Hydra.
Yeah. Stargate Universe Phoenix is the name of a Daedalus class battlecruiser belonging to the Tower E.
Okay.
Before being renamed the George Hammond.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know that one. That's because George Hammond died. He was the admiral. He's the admiral of the Stargate team.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen him.
Yeah,
Because he's been in a couple episodes.
My Little Pony Friendship is Magic has a Phoenix. Merlin, I think.
Like the TV series?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I've watched most of that TV series.
It's just a Phoenix Eye. Yep.
All right, what do you think about this? So I've been doing, like I said, I'm doing different gradients, feathers, but on the tail, I'm doing the middle part.
Ooh, yeah, I like it. Basically, like that middle section. Right?
Yeah, and then I'll do some like orange and then red near the
Very
tips.
cool. Love it. Yeah, R.I.P. Kevin Conroy. By the way, I don't know if everybody's heard the news. We lost the animated series voice actor for Batman. Probably the best Batman, in my opinion.
I would say so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What I like about reading lists is now I can look at chat and there's gonna be like 5 messages waiting for me.
I know.
Nobody said anything.
Did you know? Did you know when the message or when you started reading it?
Yes. Let's see. Phoenix Aarakocra as a god of creation. I'm pretty uninspired by phoenixes. Otherwise, yeah, I get it. They're not really like, as far as monsters go, like they are a cool concept, but there's not really much that you do with them in D&D, right? Because you literally kill them and you're like, I know what's going to happen. They're going to come back to life, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's take a moment of silence for Batman. Okay, that's a moment, right?
Yep.
The tail feather looks awesome, they say. Or
Thank
Richard
you.
says.
Yeah, I was initially going to do just like these little side feathers right here. I was only going to do a couple of them, but then I decided to do the middle one.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really cool how the models parts basically give you natural flames or frames to paint within parts like that.
Yeah, and that doesn't always happen, which is like what I was saying. If it wasn't stream, I would use the airbrush and probably do some gradients or something that way.
Yeah.
But I'm also kind of in a mood lately of I just want to get shit finished, you know? Just get it done so that I can move on to the next thing to paint.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I look at this kind of stuff like, and I think this is kind of maybe a word of advice for anyone that maybe struggles with what to paint or how to paint stuff. Just do it. Just paint it. If it doesn't look good to you when you're done or in a couple years, guess what?
Your art.
You can always repaint it.
Yep.
You know, you can reprint it, you can repaint it, you can, there's all kinds of options for you. You don't have to just accept something forever.
Yeah. From this angle, it looked like the feathers around the neck were a bit darker, so it looked like you were giving him a red scarf for a moment, and I kind of like it.
I'll make one out of clay and we'll paint it red, and he'll be a fancy phoenix.
Yep.
He's a fancy bird.
Fancy bird. The difficulty of phoenixes in media is that their powers are usually all or nothing. They're fire plus resurrection magic. They have to lose to showcase power. That's true. They are very much the Superman of the fantasy mythological world.
Not entirely wrong, yep.
Because if anybody has ever watched the Justice League animated series, Superman literally was there to show how powerful the villain that they were going up against was most of the time.
Yeah.
And he would charge in to take him out because that's what Superman does.
And get knocked down.
And then they'd have to fight as a team to take him out. Yeah. But yeah, that is that kind of makes sense for phoenixes. Is you really have to play them as, I always like to play them as more of a benevolent force.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they don't concern themselves with the mortal realm much, right? Yeah, they have their own thing going on.
So I had
also, do you consider phoenixes to be incredibly intelligent? As in like they're as smart as humans are smarter, or do you consider them to be
animalistic?
The smarter side of an animal.
I consider them to be intelligent myself. But that is my personal canon on phoenixes. I will look up the official D&D monster manual entry here, and we'll see if
and see what their actual int is.
Yeah, see what their intelligence is. I've had 2 phoenixes in my games. One is Embarrass, that you guys know, and the other one was
the Crystalline Count that we never fought.
No, that was Embarrass as well.
Oh right.
No, the other one was. There was a phoenix that you guys defeated and took feathers off of in the first campaign, the 4th edition campaign that we played.
Ooh.
And then later on, you guys witnessed the death of basically the god of dragons, the mother of dragons in that world, Acrocia. And so the worshipper of Acrocia used one of the phoenix feathers in their ritual to try and bring her back, and I had it come back as like this dark phoenix of like death and rebirth that became this tsunami god.
I remember this, yes.
Yeah. And I really liked that storyline. I did like the dark black fire for it, or black and purple fire for it.
which again, like start at the center and make it like a really light purple, like almost like in the pink range, and then work your way out to the ends, getting darker and darker.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
I bought like 20 goblins this summer because goblins rule. Agreed.
Okay, yep.
They're still in packaging because they're tiny and there's a lot. So my painting journey is still theoretical only. It is very daunting when you're like, I want to paint a whole army, and then you get the army and you're just like,
Just do it. Who was that?
That was Eric.
Eric, just do it. Just crack one out and start painting it. And once you get, if you don't like that color scheme, set it aside, grab another one, try something else. And then you just keep doing that until you find something you want. And then guess what? You can go back and just paint over the old ones that you didn't like.
Very true. Phoenix Intelligence depends on the writer. That's very true, obviously.
Yep.
I did enjoy seeing Embarrass as an elemental intelligence. That was a different idea. I love intelligent elementals, and I love elementals that basically pick an animal form rather than just being like, I'm an earth elemental, so I'm going to be a pile of rocks as a humanish, or a wind elemental that looks like a tornado. It's like, no, I'm a wind elemental, but I'm also a quaddle.
Yep.
Or something like that. And then somebody says, Cory, you don't aim low, do you? I love the epic level stories you create. Thank you. I pretty much...
you could go into some pretty epic stuff for 4th edition.
That game was nasty.
Group. It was so fun, though.
But yeah, thank you. I do like me a good, consequence hook, right? Where they're like, oh yeah, let's just bring the goddess back. We've got these phoenix feathers. It's like, okay, you'll bring her back, but this is a god you're trying to tamper with. Things aren't going to go the way you want them to.
Well, that was the game of
killing the gods.
God killers. Yeah, we spent a lot of time killing the gods because in your world most of them were evil.
Yeah, so the 10 gods that were basically ruling over the worlds were actually demigods who took over because I love my apocalypses. They took over after an event wiped out most of the other gods and locked the last few evil gods away. And then, once you guys hit the epic level, one of you one of you was possessed by one of these dark titans, and it wasn't you.
Actually, it wasn't mine?
It was Adam.
That was a different one.
It was Adam. It was Torrent.
Oh. Right.
Was possessed by one of these dark powers, these evil gods, and released them all. And so you guys had to fight Lolth.
Oh, yeah. That's where we get the joke that every time we play with Adam, he's going to betray us.
Yes.
You set him up for the betrayal.
Yeah, you guys fought Lolth, you fought Grumsh.
Yeah. We fought the god of chaos.
That was one of the demigods.
Yeah.
You didn't fight Tiamat because she made a deal with you just to rule over her nation. You fought Asmodeus, or Asmodeus, and you fought, I think it was Vecna. I think you fought Vecna. A 4th edition version of Vecna. No, it wasn't Vecna. I don't remember. No, maybe it was Vecna.
Man,
I don't remember.
Does it ever bother you? And in the chat, let us know too. If you've had old games that were really fun, and maybe you can't remember them anymore because it's been so long, and you weren't into taking notes, or it wasn't as easy because maybe laptops weren't as prevalent, or iPads, or whatever. I feel really bad that we don't have all of our 4th edition games recorded in some fashion. Yeah. Whether it's just audio or what, because there was a lot of fun stuff, and I would love to create a module based on that.
For sure. Yeah. Shout out to all of our veterans who served our country. Yeah, it is Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yep, and thank you
for any of you that are currently serving.
Adam is our friend. Adam is a National Guard member or reformer. I don't know if he still does that.
I don't.
He might be reserve still.
I think, yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, so thanks to him, I know our grandpa served in the Navy. Our my father-in-law served in the Army. So yeah. Thank you.
I worked on a military base, but that doesn't count. It does not count. No, I just knew a lot of veterans.
Eric says that he's also the type to have a couple sketchbooks and writing projects going, so I should just set up a paint station and have another thing to keep my hands going on art days. I wish I had only a couple writing projects going on, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Well, and I keep adding more to your plate. I keep coming up with ideas about doing some YouTube videos of
Mm-hmm.
fun builds for
Yeah.
turning Pokemon into D&D monsters,
Which
and
sounds really fun.
yeah.
Any of you ever play a game where you pit divine magic versus arcane magic, possibly humanoids versus the gods and their followers? I want to play a game where the Celestials are the villains at one point. Where the light is basically Crusader level, right? And it is turned itself kind of a bit too holy, right? Like you know the trope of
yes,
we are so good we're bad, kind of thing. Yeah.
That would be very interesting. I don't. What would the players play? They would probably play like fiends, right? The supposed dark side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would play like fiends, or you would play
Drow or something.
I mean, you could even play like normal everyday people,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then you just end up going up against the church because, maybe they all caught you at the border, and now you're gonna get executed, right? Kind of thing.
Yep.
To answer the question of are phoenixes intelligent in D&D? Their intelligence is 2.
Yeah.
So no.
And like I said, I've always considered them to be bestial in nature, but maybe smarter than dogs, right?
Yeah.
Some of the smartest dogs, right? So
they are apparently, when summoned, these elder elementals manifest as beings of apocalyptic capability, entities whose mere existence promises destruction.
Well, I'm glad we didn't have to fight one then.
And Boris is a different type. And that's the thing is, like, there's D&D and its lore for Forgotten Realms, and then there's every other game, right?
Yeah.
We're about to start playing Into the Abyss.
Out of the Abyss.
Or Out of the Abyss. Sorry, I keep wanting to go into the abyss. I just want to be there.
So that I can get out.
And thanks to suggestions on here, I think it was
last time
Brian or Richard or somebody on here was talking about making a Hydra way of the astral soul monk, or it came up in discussion.
Yeah.
And I decided to go that route. And I am playing a lizard folk female who is infused with a piece of Hydra's like blood, basically, and has an astral soul that is herself plus the Hydra.
And the Hydra, can I spoil a little bit of the backstory?
Sure, if you want to.
And the Hydra, which I thought was a really cool part, the Hydra was a pet of a dragon, of like a adult dragon.
Yeah, which I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. You need a guardian.
Yeah.
Why not go for a Hydra? And yep, it was Brian. I knew it was Brian or Richard. I knew it was one of you. Sorry. So I started looking into lizard folk society and lizard folk, like how they act as a race, because I want this character to be like extremely well thought out, extremely detailed and authentic, right? Because there are times where I'm just like kind of slapdash. This is a dwarf. He's a sergeant. Here's a little bit of backstory. Call it good. I wrote an 18-page backstory for this
That's one of your great characters, though.
Yeah, and I can work with that because there are some characters where I'm just like, give it a little backstory, and I will figure out the rest of the character as I go along, which is kind of how I do a lot of my writing. Is I just basically come up with an idea and then I just flesh it out as it goes. But I really wanted to dig in deep. Like I said, I had like 16 to 18 pages of backstory for this character.
True, he did.
Basically going over her whole history. And ending with where we're going to start
from hatching to
present.
To present, yeah.
Yes. And so there was a lot that I was writing, and I was basing a lot of it off of like I pulled from the Forgotten Realms wiki, I pulled from D&D 5e's 2 different sources, and even with all my research, I found extra sources after the fact that I'm like, oh well, this goes against everything that lizard folk are that I wrote about. Basically, in my backstory. Yeah. So it automatically becomes, okay, but this is a Forgotten Realms where maybe these lizard folk act a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Just to make things a little bit easier. Yeah, it was a fantastic idea, and I am so happy with it. Once we get started, I want to share the backstory. I think we might be planning on posting these games too on our off weeks.
Yeah.
There's some talk about it.
I hope so.
Yeah, we need to talk about it with the rest of the group, but if we do, or even if we don't, I'll share this probably eventually because I I was in flow state
There,
basically.
there's
the entire
some
time.
there's some stuff coming that I've known from printing a few things that like you guys as players are gonna love.
Yeah.
I mean, I already love them, but
Who's DMing the Abyss game? No DM. We're just all playing. No, Dallin's taking care of that. Yeah.
yeah, he offered to do kind of like a side game.
Give me a little bit of a break.
Yeah, so that we could have something to post on maybe the off weeks. And at first he seemed a little not reluctant, but like a little less enthused about it. Just kind of like, yeah, I'll do it, you know.
Yeah.
And then he started reading into the module, and I started getting really excited.
Yeah.
And we started getting messages of like, hey guys, when can we do this?
Yeah.
So.
Do you have my character printed?
I do.
Is it out in the garage?
Yes, but I can't let you see what else is printed out in the garage.
I want to see it so bad. So I didn't.
Okay, you take over and paint.
Okay, all right, sure. That'll go well for everybody. I didn't go with a Hero Forge figure.
No, you didn't.
Typically, we ask everybody to send us a Hero Forge STL.
Yeah,
And then
I have a pro subscription, so it makes it easy to have everyone send over their models and.
Yep, and then you just we get some extra credits a week or a month and everything.
Yep.
But I went through the whole character creation process, and I didn't like the lizard folk look.
Yeah, I can see that.
They had two options. They had like a little bit like shorter nose reptilian, and then they had crocodilian, and I didn't like either of them. The crocodilian one looked way too.
Do you want me to go get it?
Crazy. It's fine. We're good.
I can go get mine too.
Yeah. We're all right. We'll be all right. We'll show them off eventually. Dallin's Dubin now he's broken the first seal. I find Pathfinder's world Galarian has better developed cultural and historical backgrounds for monstrous humanoid races than 5e stuff. And I think part of that is Pathfinder was basically built on the back of D&D.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's bad because of that, but when you have a world that basically did all the hard work for you, and then you see the climate shifting where people are like, hey, let's just have not just goblins being savages that like eat you.
Yeah.
Let's actually like talk about what their history and culture is. And Pathfinder goes, yeah, of course we will. And D&D for their part is trying to do that a little bit more. However, they're also trying to make their game more accessible.
Yeah.
So they're pulling back on what typically and there's also a little bit of we don't want to shoehorn somebody into a racial trait, right? Into like a racial culture. So they're just kind of like, here's some broad ideas of what this race in the multiverse might be, and you get to decide.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of there are some times where it's cool, and there's other times where I'm just like, well, that doesn't give me much to work with on what lizard folk are like,
Yeah, I want more. I love lore. I love lore. I love world building, all that stuff, and. Yeah, I definitely want more too when I'm building things because it's like so the character I'm playing is a Githyanki paladin, and not your typical sword and board paladin, but big two-hander.
Yep.
Vengeance style. Probably
cool.
Going with the Vengeance paladin. Not 100% sure yet, but probably gonna go with that. And yeah, I like I know a little bit about him, but I want more. Tell me, and I understand that they're trying not to stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Like all Githyanki are this, and all Drow are this, and I get that. I get that. But tell us more about like culture. Like, tell me what is their generic culture? Yes, we understand that everyone is not this way, but tell us about.
That's kind of what I based Kith on. She's her name is Kith, the lizard folk.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I based her on. Is I looked through typical lizard folk culture. And then I took the pieces that I really liked and I adapted it into my own, like, here's what I would say lizard folk culture is like. Yeah, we do need to give everybody a tour of the minifigs storage someday.
Yes, yeah, do that. It's not up to where I want it to be just yet, but it's getting there. It's getting close. Yeah, I got a lot of minifigs, way more than I could ever paint. I need an army of me's, basically, or other people to paint them for me.
End goal is to have a homebrew that's reminiscent of D&D or 5e, but still changed enough to be called my own. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what you have to do is... And to be honest, because Richard asked that or says that it seems daunting to make a whole world on your own, you don't need to make it right away.
Do what I'm doing. So that actually is perfect. Right now I am running a set of one shots, or it's actually a multi-chapter adventure from a creator, and you can find a bunch of these on like DM's Guild and just all over the internet. Some for free, some for paid for. And what I'm doing is I'm taking that and slowly morphing it into my own.
Yep.
And slowly changing it to something that I want.
Yeah, and
But it's nice because it has a good foundation already.
All you really need to do is you need to start with maybe one kingdom, maybe one continent, if you want to stretch it out that far, and then from there, like that one kingdom, you start coming up with plot points, and those plot points basically connect a new center of the map. Do the WoW method.
Yeah.
Right. When you add an expansion, boom, new piece of the map that you didn't know was there.
The map
before.
just zooms out a little bit.
Exactly.
Hey, look, there's another.
I think that's the best way.
Critical
to
Role
handle
did it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Matt probably had all this stuff in his head anyway, but they started out just Exandria, I think, is the place, right?
Yeah.
And that's all they went to at first. That's all they really did, and then they have expanded to other places now.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Critical Role lore, so I could be 100% wrong, but I think that sounds right.
Let's see. To like the classes, you can make a monk and never call them such. Just take the numbers and build what you want with your own fluff. Yeah, she isn't really a monk. She has some monk traits and some she meditates and she channels that kind of energy, but she really is just a brawler because she just likes to use her claws and her teeth and her tail to fight with. She doesn't take any weapons or anything like that when she's fighting because she doesn't need them. And that's why that's why I think monk is better for that particular instance than say barbarian, because you could do a barbarian lizard folk really easy too. 5K video idea: Toy Story D&D arena where the claw, quote unquote, picks out random minis from Scott's stash. The party has to fight. May or not be balanced. May or may not be balanced.
Oh, jeez.
I do like that. I do like a little arena fight.
We could put it into a big randomizer and just spin that wheel or roll the dice.
The funny thing is we do actually have a claw in Aneria. There is a goddess called the Claw.
Yeah. The Claw picks him out for us.
Yep. I'm a few videos behind on his most recent builds. Oh, he's talking about Colby's Gung Fu monk build, which sounds very interesting. I haven't seen that one yet either. Yeah.
Jackie Chan drunk fighting Gung Fu?
No, gun.
Oh, gun fu.
I have a...
come on, Colby.
The power of the gun.
Colby's one of those that says he don't like guns in his thing, and then he, sell out.
Yeah, you're behind 30 episodes.
I know.
Pugilist instead of monk. Yeah, pretty much. It's more of just I don't know, lizard folk can be a warrior and just use their claws, right? Most of them typically do use spears and shields and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited. I'm very happy that you picked a female character to play.
Yeah.
Because my character does not trust any males, and if we wouldn't have had at least one other female, it would have been very it wouldn't have been impossible because I would have just worked around.
Yeah, you would have figured it out.
Yeah, but it would have been a lot more difficult to be part of the group and not have any issues with it. Hey, Bosco, welcome.
I just wanted. Oh, hi, welcome, Bosco. I just wanted to play a female character.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yep, I think the last one was
Barissa, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I felt a little bad because I made an 18-page backstory for this game that Dallin was doing, and I sent you an Audian snippet that was 5 pages long, but it was only one tiny snippet of what happened to him, right? It wasn't his full life story or anything like that. I felt a little bad, but then I was Audian is more of a I will figure him out as he goes along character, right? I didn't want to. I didn't want to limit him too quickly.
The other thing that a lot of backstory does, and this is not a bad thing, but it can be limiting in character growth.
Yeah.
Not entirely.
Slide that on a little bit more. You're off camera. Yeah. Not entirely.
Is it because I push this?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. I lean in and smack it with my head.
Yeah. Just wanted to
you can get a little if you've got too much backstory as a DM, it can be kind of hard to try to weave stuff in, especially surprises.
Yep.
You know, like it's hard to be like if there's a backstory of every single person in your life, very detailed. It's like okay,
so
well now what?
Yeah, now I can't include anybody else in the life kind of thing. Yeah. And so my intention for Kith was to make her basically. She has had a full history of stuff that has shaped her into what she is today.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff in the backstory can come back if Dallin wants. I gave him plenty of hooks for all kinds of stuff. Some which you don't even know about that I kept like a little bit secret from the story, but gave him like a background look into it.
Nice.
If he wanted to. And then because I did share, I shared the full backstory with the rest of the party, with the rest of the group, just because I can't help it. I love like showing off something that magnificent. Honestly, right now it feels like my best work.
Yeah.
That I've done. Yeah. Like I said, I was in a flow state with that, and I was very happy with that kind of story that I did.
I mean, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's your best work.
Well, yeah, but you like my superhero stuff way better. So.
Yeah. I've read your.
You're biased.
Stuff. I am very biased.
I always like to bake in hooks into characters, but leave them open for the DM to pull the levers if they want. Exactly. Yeah, you don't need to be like, hey, this is what my character is doing with their campaign. It's just like, no, here's some things that happened. Here's some characters they met. Here's some consequences that might come of it. Yep. Like I had to run from this town.
Well, and we've had players occasionally say stuff like, I'm not 100% sure why my character would be here, right?
Yeah.
And part of that is, you know, maybe they had a specific goal in their backstory that they started with, and that was it, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't really think that much further ahead, or, you know, it was hard to weave something in together. And so, you know, that can be a problem too. So yeah, I like it too, where I can just be like, I'm gonna leave it open for the DM. I've got to write mine and also create my character. I've picked the race and class, and I've even made a Hero Forge figure, which is funny because I do Hero Forge figure first, then I build.
Yeah.
I actually do the build, you know.
Yep. It's okay, Casey, you can finish it whenever you want. She hasn't finished reading it yet. I think she's about halfway through.
There's too many in it. Too many hisses.
Superhero stuff, you say? Leans in intrigued. Yes, I do have several superhero stories in the works.
Yeah, so we might have mentioned this before, I'm sure.
Probably.
But we played a Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition game. This was the same group that did the 4th edition stuff as well. We played that for a couple years, actually. And so we have a superhero team, and Cory, and then I helped a little bit, came up with
basically a whole world.
Yeah, a whole world of superhero stuff that is not just our world with heroes. Heroes, yeah. And Cory actually has a couple chapters in some books that he's writing.
5 different books?
Yeah.
I think?
Yeah.
1, 2,
a bunch of different books.
Let's see. Local? Because what I wanted to do is I wanted it to feel like a comic book, right?
Yeah.
So you've got like a local hero story that I'm writing.
Yeah, street level.
Which deals with, it's actually like a small town hero kind of thing.
Yeah.
Rather than just like street level. Because that's technically like different. So you've got the local, you've got the hero team, your classic team up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on a mystics book, like for a mystical side of it, which is kind of a supernatural detective novel, in addition to being in a superhero world. So that's interesting and a challenge most of the time to kind of balance that. And then I've got the galactic view, which is going to be like a big like aliens and whatnot.
And that's where my interest lies.
That's your favorite.
So that's my favorite one, and that's the one that I've done the most extra outside work in our world about.
So that's 4 books that I've gotten at least a couple chapters in.
Yep.
And then I have a 5th, which is a young hero. I'm not sure how young I'm going to go. If I'm going to go teenager, if I'm going to go like 18, like barely legal.
Yeah.
Barely legal heroes.
In your area want to fight you.
But I'm going to be doing a story about that. So that's just a concept right now. I have some broad strokes, but I haven't written a chapter for it yet. Brian says that Bosco's the reason he didn't get his Axe-Beak Flamingos because he voted for the Phoenix. Casey says her favorites are Misfire, which is the galactic one. That Misfire is part of the galactic one.
Yep.
And then the Werewolf Detective. Yeah. Spoilers for the Mystic Supernatural Detective. Yeah, book, but. I'm not a fan of the Phoenix stat block, though, in 5e. I kind of agree with you. The basic Phoenix stat block is...
For something that's supposed to be apocalyptic, does it feel pretty weak?
So, it's got Fiery Death and Rebirth. When it dies, it deals 4d10 fire damage. Mm-hmm. As a challenge rating 16, only 4d10 fire damage on death. Which is, I mean, it's a death thing, so...
it's a death thing you wouldn't understand.
Yeah. It's a death thing. It's got a fire form, which means that any creature that touches the Phoenix or hits it with a melee attack while within 5 feet of it takes 1d10 fire damage. Only 1d10 again? Like, you'd think that it'd be hotter than only 1d10 fire damage.
Yeah.
It can also move through hostile spaces and does flyby, right? And when it does, it deals fire damage as it moves through the first time.
Right.
But that's only a d10 again.
Like, it should have... I feel like it should have, like, a big freaking fire aura, depending on what level it is, you know, and...
Legendary Resistance, 3 a day, that's nice. You know, that's pretty good for a big creature like that. It's a siege monster, which I hate. I'm gonna say that as my opinion, that may be unpopular, maybe everybody agrees with me. The siege monster trait is the stupidest trait ever.
Especially if it's put on a thing and then less of the other part of it is restricted because it's a siege monster, so we're gonna make it weaker in other areas to try to balance things.
Yeah. So far, this sounds like the stat block for a really good familiar. Its attack is a multi-attack, 2 attacks, only 2. Again, at a CR 16. Only 2 attacks.
Yeah, it's got claws and beak, right?
Yep, the beak is a plus 13 to hit with 2d6 plus 8 fire damage, and then an extra 1d10 fire damage if it ignites something. And then the fiery talons is the same hit and 2d8 plus 8 fire damage. That is not a lot for a 16. And then it has legendary actions where it can. It can attack.
Sounds like we need to do a video redoing the Phoenix stat block to make it more of an epic monster rather than it's there, you know.
Yeah, I'll put that down as a video as well.
Yeah, video idea.
There are other Phoenixes in D&D now that are a little bit better though. The Arclight Phoenix from Ravnica, for example, is a challenge rating 12. Flyby, it has flyby. The first time on a turn the Arclight Phoenix touches the ground, it takes 2d10 force damage, which is cool because it's like
slamming into the ground.
It's like it's like it takes the damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, it's slamming itself into the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like losing some of its because it's based off of lightning as well as fire for that one. Illumination. It's got lightning form, which deals 2d8 lightning damage instead of 1d10, so better there. And again, this is 4 challenge ratings lower. And it does more damage with its aura. Crackling Death, it does 8d8 lightning damage, so it does, But then it doesn't have a multi-attack. It doesn't have legendary actions, and but its attack is plus 10, and it deals 68 lightning damage, and that lightning jumps from the target to one creature of the Phoenix's choice that it can see within 30 feet. They must make a dexterity saving throw or take 68 lightning damage. Sorry, 68. So that's clear, right?
Yeah.
So that right there feels like a more challenging Phoenix than the actual Phoenix.
Yeah, I would agree.
Awesome concepts, thank you.
I love lightning damage in the game, and I think it's kind of underutilized, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just like the tech in me. You know, the tech guy in me. I'm like,
you need to
I'm like electricity.
More.
Yeah.
Dungeon Dad wrote a better one. Nice. Very good. Only heroes instead of only fans. Yeah. You know what? If people would pay me $10 a month to write hero stuff, I probably would write it more. I'd make sexy hero stuff too.
Yeah, if you could draw, right, you get lots of money doing that kind of stuff.
You can actually make money by writing sexy things too.
That's true.
Yeah. 100,000 moms who bought 50 Shades of Grey can't be wrong.
Yeah, okay.
CR16 Mummy Lords aren't even that high and are more interesting. Yeah, give it a mythic form after it explodes as a ghost fire phoenix. Ooh, all blue and white flames. That's really good.
A cool idea.
I like that. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, we're going to steal that. Thanks.
Yep, thanks, Bosco. Ghost fire.
Okay, I think I got the orange done. I'll take a look at it. Here she is.
Miss America. That's really cool. I like those colors are working really well together. Ooh, and you've left just the tips for the red on the tail there.
I'm gonna do red here, red there, red red on these as well, and then I'm gonna do purple on these just a few of these outside, real long ones. Yeah, and then red in there, red on that, and then of course I've still got like I'm gonna do red on these. I think right here, a little like antenna thing, which is just fire coming from it, but.
So many good recommendations in the chat that I'm writing down. Phoenix Patron for a Warlock, which would be cool.
Ooh, yeah, that's interesting.
Pact of the Undying Flame or something like that, right? I'm going to write that down. That actually is a good name for it.
I will be right back.
Undying Flame. And then somebody says Supernova Phoenix for space-based encounters, for astral sea encounters.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Star-based ones?
Yep. Phoenix Sorcerer Origin on my to-do list. Do it. That would be awesome. It's just me, guys. It's just me now. Do you like my shirt? This is a new shirt that I got recently. I don't buy myself shirts very often, but I was very happy to make this purchase. That's all I've got to talk about. Just my shirt. Yeah. No, I have been really excited to show off Kith, and I'm very excited for you guys to see him as well, or her as well. Poor Cory, left all alone. It's true. And he's back. Thank God. I ran out of material 2 seconds in. This was awful.
Hey, you do it to me all the time.
Cory, do you read much super stuff? Yes, Richard. I have a very large catalog of superhero stories that I have read. Ooh, she looks so good.
I had to go get his character.
Oh,
and
my
my
looks
character.
like corn, and I love it. Like baby corn.
It's corn.
It's corn.
It's got the juice.
5 books seems like a lot of time spent thinking about it. Yes, it's more time thinking about it than it is writing it. That's for sure. Yeah. So as far as superhero novels go, Superpowereds is like one of my top tiers from Jeff Hayes. Drew Hayes.
Drew Hayes.
Sorry, Jeff. I think Jeff did the audiobook for it. Not Jeff Hayes, but a Jeff. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, wrong button. Yeah, so this is from Artisan Guilds. This is a Patreon that we follow, and they had a Golden Maw, like, lizard clan that came with, like, weapons, or you could just do, like, open hand stuff.
Open hand stuff, yeah.
Why? Why do I do that?
I don't know. I don't know why you do that.
But yeah, so I decided to go with this very Saurian look to it. Like, I liked a little bit more Saurian.
Do you like the positions I put the hands in?
Yeah, I think they look great. You've got, like, tiger claw, kind of thing.
Yeah, because you can rotate them and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are such a pain in the butt to keep track of because they're so tiny.
Yeah.
And then here's mine. This is my Githyanki Paladin.
Yeah. Did you remove the nose like you said you were going to?
No, I forgot, but I don't think it matters. It's such a small figure that it would be. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, she's got a big old maul. And then Preston can get mad at me later, but here is his dwarf figure.
I don't know why he said he doesn't have dark vision if he's playing a dwarf. I thought they did have dark vision.
Well, maybe he's just reading something weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's got a cool weapon.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this one is a new character coming to our Aetheris game. A Kenku sorcerer.
Ooh.
Come on.
A shadow sorcerer.
Come on, you can do it. You can Focus.
Focus.
But they finally have an actual spellcaster staff.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say that like the Aetheris group finally has a spellcaster. I was
Well,
be
yeah.
Like,
Well,
pardon?
Yeah, but look at that staff up close. Like it's an actual like gnarled wood staff, and it's really cool. And it's brand spanking new too. So
they asked why brown. This is kind of black.
So this is just primer. Yeah, this is just primer, and then what I'll do. It does
look brown on camera.
It does, yeah. But what I'll do is I'll do a heavy brush of kind of like a gray, like you can see on his neck, and then I'll do like a white, real light white dry brush, and it'll highlight a bunch of areas so that when I put on contrast paints, or if I'm just painting a normal way, it'll kind of give me like an indication of where the highlighting would be. And that's just one of yours that you requested.
This could, I mean, you can show this one off too.
Sure.
It's technically it will be a figure in Aneria, but yeah, take a look. I'm not going to tell you anything about this character. You can guess all you want from what you're seeing here, but I am very excited to show them off. That's for sure.
Yeah, I love these figures that have a lot of like detail with the scales and stuff. So when you paint them, the scales pop out really well and look good.
Eric, what's a false Hydra? I've never heard of that before.
A what?
I don't
know what you're talking about.
What were we talking about?
What? Huh.
Wait, did music just stop? That's not good.
I have 4 or 5 different false Hydra models that I really want to print.
Yeah.
And
if I was a bit quicker, I would have had one of us like disappear, and then it just be
dive
like,
underneath the table.
Yep, it's
like,
only
hey guys,
you,
just
me, because nobody else wanted to hang out with me today.
I don't know why the camera's focused like there would be 2 people, but that's weird.
Yeah.
The Sloss Bauer on Thingiverse made everything from the like adult version that's like this big all the way down to like the 1 or 2 head version. Mm-hmm. So like the smaller false Hydra, and then it grows, and it's so creepy looking, and it's awesome.
It's a Dragonborn that Colby will find a way to cut into quarter dragons. Not this time. He's not playing a melee character. What's y'all's headcanon for the accent for lizard folk? For me, I am going to go lighter, and I'm going to go just a little hissy. Not like full on like S, but like you know, with like the tongue sticking out. But I wanted to do kind of the through the teeth kind of air for the S's.
Okay.
Yeah. My skill is superior to yours. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Where you can hear the hiss a little bit, but it's not quite there. And that's at least Kith that I was going for there.
Yeah, what Dallin does with the rest of them, we'll never know.
Antonio Banderas is your go-to lizard folk? Okay, cool. I like it. I'm excited. These figures look great. I need to see Kith again. Hand it on over. I'm just going to look at it.
Look at the corn.
Yep.
Look at the corn.
Yep. I'll put it to the paint can. Because I'm going to be occupied. Then that was the one thing that I was like really excited about with being Kith is like I don't need to worry about like what they're wearing too much.
Yeah.
They're a lizard folk.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of tribal gear and call it good there. You know?
Yeah. When I paint it, by the way, I am not going to paint the cloaca a different color than skin, so...
I'm sorry, you are not painting this figure, sir.
Oh, is Cory going to paint?
I am going to attempt my hand at painting.
Are we gonna have a stream?
You'll be
Are we gonna have a stream?
Hey,
are we gonna have a stream where Cory is painting?
Painting
and
Kith?
I'm the one looking up lists?
Maybe that could be fun. Do you guys want to see that? You want to see an amateur work instead of the master?
Not a master. Do not say that.
Artisan?
More of a journeyman.
Casey
how about that?
Do it. The one thing that I liked about this that Hero Forge couldn't do as well is the claws, the fingers could be separated.
Yeah, Hero Forge has a problem. All their hands are this.
Yep.
No matter what position they're in, they're all together.
Because it's easier to print.
Yeah,
there's less failures.
Artisan Guild likes to do separated fingers and stuff.
I like going Polynesian or Jamaican depending on my mood. That's always a good one. I do like a little bit of like tribal. It works really well for them.
You could go like Appalachian.
Brother versus brother. Yes.
Because they do live in swamps.
Yeah.
Not that the Appalachians are swamps, but
Yep, and I think, so that's something that I've been a little concerned about. And actually, this is something that leads into something I wanted to talk about earlier, but I didn't get to. With running the game and having it aired, there are things that I cannot do in order to, like, make the game, like, fully accessible, fully everything. Like, I try to stay away from most accents because A, I can't do them justice, and B, that's offensive sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, it can very much be like he's trying to do, like, I will do tilts. Like, there are some characters that in, like, Terabon that I kind of tried to give a little bit of Chinese accent to, Chinese American accent. But I'd never ever go, thank you, Casey, for grabbing the dog. I never ever want to go like full accent for these, because obviously that would be a problem. That is a problem, and I am not the type of person that I like to stereotype people in two cultures kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is why most of the time, most of my characters end up with a light British accent, because that's just easy fantasy.
because we can make fun of the British all we want.
Yes. We're white, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And technically, like, we broke away from them, so, you know, it's just extra rebellion.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Giving every dwarf a southern drawl. I tried to do the Irish, but it didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's tough. You have to spend a lot of time practicing.
Yeah. And I tried to do variations on it, like.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out my voice for my character. Kind of more into the female range. I obviously have a pretty deep voice most of the time.
Yeah.
And so it's a little harder for me to go higher, but I don't want to go too high, and I don't want to go like
you don't want to make
like
it sound
mockingly
ditzy
high
or mocking. Yeah, you don't want to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. And another thing that going back to the whole, like, how to homebrew your world kind of thing. Our world, Aneria, basically everything has to be done mostly from scratch. Like, the races have to feel pretty unique, the new ones that we create, or at least distinct enough, because if we ever want to monetize it in a book or anything, we can't use stuff that's been in the monster manual or, you know, or in D&D. It's the Critical Role problem, going back to them.
Yeah.
They used Vecna in their first campaign, and then when they did their show, they didn't have approval to say Vecna, so they have to call them the Whispered One, because that's, you know, like, they have to work around that kind of stuff. All of the gods, all of the gods that they took from D&D are pretty much the same. But for you doing your own homebrew world, drop things in from other places. There's a town called Hammerfast in one D&D module or another. I think maybe it was from Penny Arcade that I took the idea, and I just plopped it in the middle of the first world that I created, and it was pretty much done. Right? You could take Strixhaven, and you could put Strixhaven wherever you want in your world. As a fully fledged out magical college.
Yeah. Don't take our stream as, I mean, you can use it for example if you want, but don't take it as, like, it's not law, right? Obviously.
Yep. And here's something else. Take anything from an area you want and put it into your game.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yep. When you are putting something into your game that you love, the rule of thumb is don't make it overbearing for your players, right? Reference it. Don't call it out and try and do, like, all the inside jokes, because chances are maybe one player will get it, the rest will just be a little annoyed that they're not getting the joke, or that or they'll, you know, accuse you of being unoriginal, which is stupid because everything's just stolen anyway. But pay homage. But don't try to, like, jam the Wayward Watch into your world and have them be the main characters, because they're not.
Yeah.
The Wayward Watch in your world is a competing adventure company. It's a group of individuals that may provide some slight aid, but aren't going to run the adventure with your players, because your players are the main characters.
It's a group of vigilantes that are being hunted. I mean, it could be anything, really. Yeah,
but you can just have the characters with their names in there, and you don't even have to be like, this is pulled from this, kind of thing. Your players, unless they're like, hey, isn't this? They never have to know.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's the great thing about D&D and
Well,
all of this extra homebrew stuff is
back to our superhero game. You used to drop references to stuff in that that I knew only I would get, and there was never a pause. Like, it was just more of like a look. We just be like, you know.
Yep.
And if someone else got it, great. But most of the time, it was just Cory and I, because we have a very odd sense of humor sometimes.
And I had a very strict rule in that game of try not to say Mike or this character has this power like X in X-Men or Y in Y the Last Man. No, sorry, I was going with the X thing.
The power of being a dude.
Yeah, exactly. Bolt is now my de facto leader of the Artificers Vocational Academy.
Yeah.
Says Bosco.
Woo.
So that's awesome. Practice accents in drive-thrus. Pretty good idea. I tried to do an accent a couple times when I was working at Domino's when I answered the phones, but we weren't supposed to do that, so I stopped because it was it's very much like the guy that I was talking to on the phone that got my order wrong or that yelled at me was speaking in a British accent.
Yeah.
Who's your Brit there? It's like, none of us are. And then somebody, you can get into even more trouble.
It's very
for that
unprofessional.
stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did it a couple times just because I was like, yeah, screw it. I don't care.
Yeah, I my favorite thing about working retail was giving the wrong name. Hey, this is Chris.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, hey, Chris. And then if something happened, they'd be like, Chris? And we'd be like, well, there's no Chris that works here.
The best is when you say your real name, they give you a different name.
And you don't correct them.
And you don't correct them. And they go, I think his name was Timothy. And then somebody goes, do we have a Timothy here? And it's like, no, that was me.
I don't even say that. I just go, no, that's weird. I don't know who the hell she was talking to.
Yeah.
Or who the hell he was talking to.
I actually portray my orcs as Polynesian or small Mongolian tribe, depending on what side of my planet you're on. Typically, I do... typically, I just kind of do the gruff, half-speak voice.
Yeah.
For orc. He's good.
Orc speak
Strong.
He's good. Very strong.
That sort of thing. Just because that's the easiest, and then I don't have to worry about an accent. What I love, and this is something in the Critical Failures books, which is a series of books that you should only read if you're okay with a lot of poop humor,
adult jokes,
and adult jokes. Yeah, is the Elven language in that for these people pulled from the real world into the world. When they need to speak Elven, they speak with a British accent, and then they find a tribe of like orcs, and the half orc speaks to them in Giant, and they're like, "What were you like? What did it sound like to you?" And he goes, and he kind of like tilts his head down. And he goes, "It was Mexican." Yeah, I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah,
but again, it's like
that's not Cooper, right?
Yeah, that's Cooper. Yeah.
That's a fun
Very
series.
Very caveman of you. Thank you. Zug Zug.
Zug Zug. Scorpio.
Zug Zug is actually a caveman reference before it was an orc reference, by the way.
Yeah, it's from a comic strip, isn't it?
No, it's from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They're a couple of cavemen like in a skit they're talking, and they say Zug Zug a lot. I think they're referring to like some specific like act or something like that. Probably less PC these days than it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, as is typical for everything, which is unfortunate, but
also understandable.
Yep.
We have the internet now. We can find out that saying things certain ways or.
Oh, what was the one that we learned about the other day that we were like, holy crap? Oh, it was Hip Hip Hooray.
Yeah.
It was about like anti-Semitism from the Nazi Party.
Yeah.
And like lynching and stuff like.
Yeah, it was pretty wild to hear that.
Nope. Not gonna try to avoid that phrase from now on. Just because, and it's not a. I think somebody's gonna call me out on it because I just said it on stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a. I really don't want to associate with that, but language changes.
Yes,
it
does.
Like Hip Hip Hooray does not mean.
It's the whole. Saying that's gay. Used to be, oh, that's happy or cheerful or whatever, and and now it means something different. And...
Yep. Yeah, well, and I think that you have to take any language with a grain of salt because I know I've gotten several like old men who get mad at me when I say hey guys to like a pair of women, or thank you guys, and then like they'll come up and they'll be like they're not guys, which was funny because that was like 10 years ago, and now like. and now like it's full on like kind of reversed in that like they would be like, I don't know, they're the ones saying the wrong gender for people, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, I know that they're not guys. They're clearly not guys.
Yeah. It's just a term
That's a phrase
of saying.
Yeah. That is just a way to say everybody.
It's like y'all, but we don't.
I actually am trying to use y'all more.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my, instead of saying guys and girls or ladies and gentlemen, that sort of thing. I just say, hey y'all, because it's all encompassing. Like there's no worry about any sort of gender pronouns or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. I have a little bit of a complicated relationship when it comes to PCism. Like I went hard into it like when I was like 25, and as I'm growing older,
the pendulum has
the pendulum is swinging back, and I'm becoming like I'm never going to be to the point where I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to say whatever racial slur I want, go on Twitter and say the N-word or something like that.
Pay $8 for your check mark and then
just spout off nonsense. But I will be like more moderate about it, and I'll be more accepting of the intent behind the saying rather than just the saying itself.
Well, I had one the other day that was interesting to me. So when you buy a house, you're looking at the bedrooms, right? And they call one of them the master bedroom, right? Well, that's based out of slavery,
yep.
Right? Yet it's a really common thing that everyone still says, no matter who. And I was trying to think, like, what would you replace that with? And I'm like, for me, it's like, it's the captain's quarters.
Captain's quarters, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's how I would handle that one.
Yeah.
But things like that, it's like, well, where do you draw your line? And everyone's line is different, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of have a little bit of a mixed relationship with it as well.
How about the king's chambers? Can we call it that?
Well, maybe.
I mean, kings have their own like personal history.
Yeah, because we already call like king bed, queen bed,
Yeah.
surf bed.
On the subject of characters brought into the fantasy world trope, Grimgar was a very interesting anime. They literally spend the whole run just figuring out how to work as a party to kill goblins. Interesting.
Huh. That sounds like a wild Grimgar.
I'm gonna have to send that separately. I'm gonna send that to you through text.
Because so you're using different messaging systems to
Grimgar. You might already have it written down, but
yeah, I might already.
I have that giant anime list. It's not so focused on leveling up power creep shows, and it's all about party growth. 12 episodes worth watching if you like story-focused shows. Nice. The big bedroom.
The big room. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The room that has the bathroom attached to it.
I call mine the sexnasium.
All right, Zap Brannigan.
Yep. Hi to Genso no Grimgar. I'm sure I'm going to be able to find it by just Grimgar, but thank you.
Oh, that's such a pain in the ass sometimes when I'm trying to look for movies. Yeah, it's like, or anime, and it's like, okay, well, here's the English version of the word or of the anime title, but no one has it listed as that, so I have to go try to find the Japanese translated name,
Yeah. Casey says the boom boom room. I'm assuming you're referring to a master bathroom.
Yeah.
Rather than
the boom boom room after you eat too much
bedroom.
cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this guy.
Yeah, the red's taking a little bit longer because
nope, bedroom. This is where we make a boom boom.
The bed boom room.
Yep. Do I pull out my
Death by Snoo Snoo? No, you pull out your wizard hat and robe.
Yes. That is so cool. I like that.
You like the change? I will have to go back and touch up some spots because contrast paint kind of it looks like it's covering, and then when it dries, it'll flow a little bit.
Yeah.
And you'll see like a white spot that you actually missed, even though it didn't look like that initially. And then I got to go back and touch it up. But this should be pretty easy because, like was mentioned before, there's very, very clear delineation between colors.
Yeah.
My phone has been buzzing this whole time because you've sent me stuff and I've got
I
friends
haven't.
sending me stuff.
I've only sent you one thing. The rest I've been saving.
It
just
must be.
in
It must
an
like
ongoing list. Yep.
Friends are like, "Oh, you're streaming? Here, let me send you 12 different conversations."
Brian P says, "My friends call my room the void. Since the door is closed and when I go into it for something, it's like light goes there to die since I have blackout curtains as I hate light."
Oh
we
my
have
gosh.
blackout curtains all over the house.
The whole house is covered in
Yes.
blackout curtains because
We do not like light yet.
we don't like light either. Yeah.
No, so we originally got blackout curtains, obviously for your theater room, which is the red room, that we play in now.
Which is no longer theater; it's now a studio.
Yes. So that worked out really well for us if we needed a studio during the day, although we record at night, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then you got blackout curtains for your room, I believe,
Yep.
because
I sleep better in the pitch black.
Yep. And then we got blackout curtains in my room because there's a street light that's not too far away from
And it's
our
on
window.
all the time.
And it's on all the time. So, and I needed to get to bed at like 9 o'clock, and it was still like daylight out in the summertime because I have an early morning job.
Yeah, it's 6 a.m.
Yeah, a little bit less so now because I don't have to wake up at 4 anymore
That's
to
true.
get to work on time. But yeah, it was that, and then after that we were like, after we converted the studio or the theater into the studio, we took a look at the upstairs where we were watching all of our movies and we're like, it's too bright in here. So we
Yeah.
bought blackout curtains for the door. First of all, we taped up cardboard until the blackout curtains came,
Yeah.
which made our house
Well,
look very
Ghetto.
Yeah.
Or not ghetto, but
very rundown. Yes.
yeah, we put them in there because the light would bounce, the sun would come up, bounce off the white siding, and reflect right into our eyes sitting on our couch.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Random question. Your Whalelord character is a druid, correct? That is correct. They are a Stars Circle druid.
This
If your
guy?
question is, yes, Audian. Although I don't think I'm going to be using that particular form anymore. I
so
know
I
we
printed this.
I know we
for
printed
no
it.
reason.
Well, we can end up like primering it and painting it.
Yeah.
To just make a different form if we wanted to. Like if I wanted to switch him out.
Mhm.
Cardboard lets you play the game Gamer or Drug Dealer. We have a game in our neighborhood that is Firework or Gunshot.
No, it was drug deal, or what was the other one? Because there was that house
Oh,
on the
yeah.
corner for a while that we swear people grew weed there.
And then like a car would pull up.
Like
Visit
someone would
for-
run inside for like 15 minutes and then leave, and it was
Yeah.
always random new cars, never the same ones. They would throw crazy parties on like a Wednesday night until like 2 a.m. It was wild. We're pretty sure
That
they
many
were,
could
you
be
know.
the Brander whale nemesis. Perfect. Yeah, so, but we not that we get a lot of gunshots in our neighborhood, but we are in America. So every time you hear like a big pop or a bang, you're like, was that a firework that somebody was lighting off?
Yeah.
Or
Well, because Utah has, on the 24th of July, Utah has Pioneer Day, or Pioneer Beer Day, whichever your persuasion.
Yep.
And so that whole month is non-stop fireworks, just constant.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's one of those like, well, let's see, firework, gunshot.
Yeah, I mean, usually on the 24th you're pretty confident,
Yeah.
but like the next few days or the next couple weeks afterwards, you're just like, I don't know. Does he summon creatures, or are you more of a blaster with Audian? I am healer, is what I want to go. I want to do like healer controller because we have new players. I want to give them a chance to shine, so I will be the support character and kind of. But I have been using the archer form. The first time I did Star form, it was
because
with
you,
archer because
for a while there, you were our only ranged.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our other range.
Because our other ranger
we
did
purposely
the,
got her kidnapped.
Yeah, did the I'm gonna make myself get kidnapped in order
And
to
it
find
worked.
the hideout, and it worked. It
Once
did.
again, 100% success rate for getting captured as a strategy. I kid you not. You ever want to sneak in somewhere? Just pretend to be captured, or just get captured on purpose, and then have somebody like sneak in with you.
I'm sure that works in real life.
Yeah, they definitely don't just kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had thought about summoning creatures. I thought about him being like a moon blaster or something like that, but I really just want him to be a bit more of a kindly healer support character. So he's going to do some control stuff. He's going to do, obviously, like, most of the time I'm still casting Acid Splash and whatnot because as much as it's funny to rag on Colby for not healing people, it is true that the best healing usually comes when you drop to 0 hit points, or because otherwise you're just going to lose that healing on the enemy's next turn anyway.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's because the healing in 5th edition is fundamentally broken.
Summons whales to crush his foes. Maybe eventually I might do some summoning stuff. Player 1, how are we getting in? Scott, front door is always nice. I remember you had a kick in the door policy with Tarvos, your droid in our Star Wars game that we played.
Yep.
And by kick in the door, we mean lift your foot up and hit the door
keypad
panel
with my toes,
because they were all sliding doors.
Yeah.
Black fire for the beak, yes.
Ooh, I was actually planning on going regular beak colors,
Which is black.
Oh, is it?
Typically, a beak color is like black.
Black beak.
I mean, you could go black.
I was thinking of going like eagle colored, kind of like almost like a tan. But black's okay. We could do like black.
I'm working on a project involving him, so I'm doing some research. A project involving Audian? Okay. I'm interested. I can't wait to see what you have there. That's an interesting thing to do because he's only mentioned in these streams and never anywhere else.
Eventually, like I said, we have recorded every single episode of Adventures of Aetherius.
Mm-hmm.
And
gold would be good too for the beak.
Yeah, that's a little too close. I think black probably works pretty good.
Okay.
Like it looks like.
Yeah, so we're recording all of them.
We're recording all of them, and I'm really going to try to convince the group to let me post them somewhere.
Yeah. Probably won't be on the TOA channel.
It'll be on its own channel, I think.
We'll tote it on the stream, obviously, so people who want to can see it, and on Discord, obviously. I think one of the biggest problems is not problem, but one of the biggest hurdles to get over as far as that one goes is these first couple of episodes. The two players that are a couple in real life, they have a new baby.
Yeah,
and
they've been bringing the newborn along.
Because
he was too young.
He's not weaned yet. Yeah. So obviously there's a little bit of concern with audio stuff in there where
because he's very noisy. He's a very very talkative kid.
He is a very talkative kid, and it's not an issue. Putting that out there right now for anybody who thinks that we're baby haters. We are, but not in that way. No, it's not an issue. It's just
I like babies.
It's a hurdle that
you have
to consider, right?
Yeah. So that might just be me going through and tweaking the audio, which will take a little longer to edit, to try to reduce some of that. Yeah. Some of it's kind of funny because there will be times where we're talking about her, the mom's mount.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, oh yeah, Fledge makes a bunch of noise in the corner, and all of a sudden their kid goes, down off the ground, and it's like, yeah, like that,
Yeah, that the child has basically become the voice of Fledge as far as
the mount.
Yeah, it was a deer, right?
A deer, yes, a small deer because she's a gnome, so
yes,
so she doesn't need a big deer.
And she actually researched, and she's like, there are small deer, and here's some examples, kind of thing.
Yeah, she's the one that she got locked up, and we ended the session, and. They come back the next session, which was like 6 weeks later because of scheduling stuff.
Yep.
But she hands me her notebook and she's like, so I did a bunch of research on ways I can get out of prison with what I have on me.
Yeah.
and she literally looked up
how to start fires
with spices and all kinds of other things, and it was yeah, okay. So
vampire deer are pretty small. Yes, they are.
Yeah. So, and obviously if there's a want to have it released, that would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to have to be one of those things because, obviously, we talk mostly about it on stream here, and there's not a huge following for our streams. Yeah. They get some decent views after the fact, which is nice.
But we could put it up, and I'm not looking to make money off of it. I just want it to be recorded for posterity. And
Eric says, distort the baby sounds into monster sounds.
You walk into the inn.
Vampire deer is a misnomer. They're actually just really tiny deer, I think.
I thought they were actually more like lich deer.
No, so they're small deer, but they have big fangs, is what they have. So like this, Scott, they've got.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, they look a bit terrifying, but they are mostly just.
I'm like, what evolutionary pressure was like? Yes, giant fangs on herbivore. Why?
Well,
what's out there?
Yeah,
they need to. Obviously, it's probably
wolves.
like it's always sexual selection, right? It's
Yeah.
always like, lady deer find it better, or vice versa. You know.
Yeah, I've been debating on what direction to take my Whale Lord project, so I need to know his standard MO in combat. So I will say, as far as Whale Lords go in Atheris...
Do you want us to release Atheris and you can watch?
Yeah.
Let us know.
As far as it goes, Audien and his pod of wandering, like, helpers are an oddity. He doesn't know this. Outside, Cory knows this, but inside, he believes that all Whale Lords are like him, nomadic, don't care about money, that kind of thing. But in point of fact, there is actually a society, and turns out he's a hippie.
Yes.
There's no real better way to say
his family and his generations have all been like hippies. Hence the druidic nature.
Like druidic, hence the druidic nature of them all and that kind of stuff. Well, Scott, the narwhal horn is technically a tooth, so figure that out. Evolution is wild. It has no rhyme or reason. You see something and you're just
we try to assign logic to it, and it's not right. There's no logic behind it other than survival of the species or what trait decides to get passed on. Because there's a lot of traits that don't really do anything for evolutionary speaking, but they get passed on.
Vasco, is that true? Vampire deer suck fruit juice with them things. I don't think that's true. No, that you're just making a joke here. But now I'm very curious why they have fangs.
It's Animal Hour with Cory and Scott.
This was supposed to be the bird show.
They eat birds.
Vampire deer.
Have you ever seen those videos of like deer or horses like full on eating a bird or a baby bird? Like,
I know that you mentioned it. Yeah, I think I've seen one or two.
Yeah, it's like it's more of like an opportunistic eating,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we've all seen dogs and cats do it, right?
Favorite bird, go.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I like penguins.
Penguins are good.
Owls. Probably owls too.
Yep.
But I can't say owls because you said it first.
Yep, I stole it. You had to pick something else. Falcons are really good too.
Corvids. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyone from the corvid family.
Yeah, that's true. A kookaburra, says Brian. Mostly raptors, eagle hawks, etc. Yep. I just think owls are really very cool and very beautiful creatures.
Yes.
So, in the distant past, deers had both fangs and antlers. It was actually their default. It's just an evolutionary divergence. Some, diverge to antlers, some diverge to fangs, it looks like.
So I guess that means that vampire deer don't have antlers? They only have
yes, they it doesn't look
fangs?
like they have any antlers. So. Red-tailed hawk. Casey said no. Casey, what's your favorite bird? Hawks and falcons are really cool. I always loved. We have like the Hogle Zoo here in Utah, and I always loved going to the bird show and watching them like swoop down to grab little treats.
Parrots are pretty freaking cool, just because they live a long time and they're really smart, especially for birds, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I like corvids, because they're really smart.
I always think about like the next intelligent species that's gonna spawn from the Earth, right?
Yeah.
And always like the top.
Once humanity dies out, you mean?
Yeah.
When we get
the
hit
top
by...
three are always octopus, which are already making shelters and using tools, right? Corvids, because corvids are very intelligent creatures. They are. Ravens are super smart. And
I love all the stories of like, I started feeding them and they started bringing me money and they started bringing me rings and stuff. And, it's like...
and then raccoons, actually. Raccoons are always very smart, and they have thumbs, or at least proto-thumbs, Jonathan, welcome. I had to finish running my monthly game. Good to have you. Good
Welcome.
to have you.
How'd it go?
Yeah. Tell us how it went. I was saying no to the question if I saw horses or deer eating a bird. Oh, okay. Favorite bird is the great horned owl from Casey. Yeah. Thought that might be the case. Herons are pretty cool too. I like a long neck bird, that flies around.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
Pelicans are pretty screwed up.
Yeah, pelicans are terrible. They're terrible.
Terrible? Is that
Terri-
something like
terrible and terrifying at the same time? Yeah.
Terrible.
We get a lot of seagulls here, or California gulls technically.
Yeah.
It's our state bird, but
What a dumb bird for a state bird.
yeah. I'd rather have a whippoorwill or a woodpecker. Woodpeckers are really cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hummingbirds.
I mean, honestly, magpies should probably be our state bird. They're pretty much annoying as annoying as
Yeah.
seagulls, but
Seagulls are just flying rats, pretty much.
that's pigeons.
Pigeons also. No, yeah, pigeons also, but yeah, seagulls are definitely
Seagulls are flying capybara. I'm trying to think of other like large rodents.
like a larger rodent. Yeah, but capybaras are cute.
I know that's true.
They're
Seagulls
adorable.
are not cute.
Yeah, seagulls.
Unless
are
it's the
definitely
one that's like in the meme,
Yeah.
screaming, the screaming seagull.
The one that like rips its head back and then does
Yep.
yeah. Yes, octopeoples. Honestly, so pray that Team Mammal prevails. I honestly am very interested to see if there is because obviously like evolution takes a long time and sapience takes a long time to develop beyond normal levels.
Unless you have
right?
extremely short lifespans,
It's true.
then evolution is a lot quicker.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see if humanity ever gets or finds a species that becomes intelligent enough and sapient enough that they can learn language, right? And obviously we have like chimps right now that can communicate through sign language and everything. But I'd be very interested to see if there was a species that ended up started developing like a civilization. How would humans react to that? Probably violently.
We would ruin it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Violently or enslave, right? Like that's typically how humanity goes.
Yeah.
But I always think of a utopian future where, like, raccoons gain sapience and they start like full on like communicating with us through voice speech, that kind of thing. And instead of being like, oh, these are adorable, let's keep them as pets, humanity goes, let's raise them up. Let's
evolve them.
Elevate them is what I was trying to say. To a higher level.
Right.
Like, how quickly could a species evolve and gain intelligence if it was taught by a higher species? Right? It's a very interesting concept that I would love to either explore in some sort of novelization or see in a movie or somewhere or something. But obviously, once again, it's probably going to end up just being...
Yeah, because look at what happens when humans find other humans. Like
yeah. Oh, hey, you look different than us.
Yeah.
You're slaves now.
Oh, we think that you're primitive. Here you go. We're taking over your country / island / jungle / whatever.
Jonathan says his first game was very good. Gauged the first threat level just right for only 4 players, showing Zealot Barbarian and Bladesinger Wizard managed to put down the Lizardman Bandit Chieftain. We were just talking about lizard folk. Awesome. Bandit Chieftain Queloth the Ruthless and his minions. And their minions.
This was your first game?
Yeah.
Well, congrats.
It looks like that was the first, yeah.
Congrats, as long as it went well.
Live near Delaware and New Jersey. Seagulls there straight up mug you for your wallet so they can buy boardwalk fries and pizza. Because there's also those like monkeys in some tourist destinations that basically steal.
Isn't it India or something?
Yeah, I think they're India or somewhere around there.
They steal your food and they steal all kinds of stuff from you.
Turn them into soldiers like Rocket Raccoon. Yeah, that could also be
genetic experimentation.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe the genetic experimentation was caused by us. Why? Maybe they evolved because we started to experiment.
That's true, and that's something else. Is like humans are definitely influencing the way that other creatures evolve now.
Yeah,
and we have been for the last
couple hundred years, or
100,000
thousands
years.
maybe.
Yeah, because we've been around.
Dogs.
The first civilizations were around like 20,000 years ago or something like that. I think, right? Depending on, that's Kurt Skazat's view or research into it. Didn't they say like it's the year 20 or 2000 or 2203 or something like that? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, like we had, like you said, dogs are very much an example of how we have changed evolution one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
or at least influence
animals are growing less and less space, and they have to adapt to a more urban climate because of humans. And obviously, like, there's a lot of quick adaptations that need to happen before they die out if they want to. But
Mm-hmm.
that sucks because of climate change and whatnot. But it's one of those things where it's like, I wonder how far that influence can stretch into raccoons gaining intelligence and sapience, or octopus gaining it, and what kind of evolution can come from it.
Again, well, I know there's a lot of research stuff, like trying to teach different animals stuff. So eventually, and we're not even like scratched the surface of how smart animals can get. You know, so yeah, maybe there's animals out there that have full on communication systems already. Like dolphins and stuff. Maybe they actually do communicate, and we just don't understand what they're saying, right? Yeah. They're so alien to us as far as language goes that we have no idea. And then if we ever learn, like, maybe they have full blown conversations. Hey Dave, how you doing? Just good, just eating some fish, that kind of shit.
Yeah. Jonathan says this is his 4th game, actually.
Oh, nice.
It's a monthly game I do. That's a 1 session, then level up, something I got from 13th Age. Nice. And then Bosco, yes, we are the ultimate BPEGs of Earth. Yeah. That is...
Turns out it was man.
Yeah, we are the most dangerous game. We are the evilest creatures possible. Yeah, I'm always very interested in the idea of another species evolving on Earth while we're still here.
Yeah.
And obviously...
I'm waiting for the day for us to find out that we're part of a galactic civilization, but we're the, like, redheaded stepchildren type of a thing, and the rest of the galaxy is like, ugh, don't go there. They're backwards.
Speaking of that kind of stuff, if you guys haven't read the web series Deathworlders, I would highly recommend it. It's really good. It is a really good novel.
It's basically humans come from a death world where gravity's higher than galactic standard, temperatures are extreme, and
the weather is terrible.
There's
and all sorts of viruses.
Everything on the planet's trying to kill us all the time, and the rest of the galaxy looks at us like freaks of nature. Like, I can't believe you guys can survive this.
Very cool stuff in that book, though. Yeah. There's some very cool twists and some very cool plot lines.
I mean, there's literally a lady that she gets stranded on a basically a paradise planet, and they find out about this planet later because it was kind of hidden. And they go and they see this giant brown dead streak across it, and it's everywhere she went. Anytime she went to the bathroom, because there's so much
left her bacteria.
There's so much bacteria and stuff that the planet has not evolved to handle, and it's just destroyed the ecology. It's stuff like that. It's pretty wild to think about.
The cool thing about it is you would think that so humans are much stronger and we're much tougher than all races. All races are kind of paper people beyond that, right?
Yeah.
And the answer is but we're also technologically not as advanced as everybody else is, and it's not just a power trip.
There's races that one of the races they're herd animals, and they weigh 2 tons basically, and it's they're still gonna hurt when they hit you, but because of their evolution and their natural instinct is to run even when their own family is threatened, they're just protect the herd, protect yourself. You can find kids and stuff later, and they don't find it weird at all because it's just part of their evolution, right?
Yeah. Read Out of the Dark by David Weber. I'll add it to the list.
Okay.
As an actual redhead, I'm not sure where that phrase comes from. The redheaded stepchild.
I'm
not sure either. I think
said it as a dumb joke.
It's probably got some problematic connotations, as we were talking about earlier.
What doesn't nowadays?
Yep.
What doesn't?
Also, have you seen the thread where someone makes the argument that we're the Terminators of the animal world?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are basically
we're pursuit predators.
Pursuit predators, right? Where we just sit there and we can follow and track something for a long time.
Okay, there's the red, by the way.
Very cool. Very cool indeed. And that's something that they talk about in Deathworlders. All the other species, if they get hurt, it takes them a long time to heal because they're not used to getting hurt.
Yeah,
right.
And we heal super fast comparatively.
We heal super fast just because we grew up on a planet that we had to heal quickly or we would die.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can see that now. You look at the animal kingdom, and like we were talking about this a couple days ago. Remember when I was like, if horses break their leg, they're pretty much toast. There's no really coming back from that. Even with human intervention, it's dang near impossible to get a horse, to heal properly and be able to walk properly again.
Yeah.
Like, we can do it with dogs and stuff because they're a little smaller, but like humans, you break your leg and it's like, that sucks. Okay, well, I'll just put a cast on it and all right, you're back in 2 months. You're back to normal, and it's kind of a freaky thing. But yet, there's other animals out there that can regrow whole limbs and
Something
stuff.
I'm actually very grateful for with our evolution, by the way, is that we are a species that can grow back, or not grow back, but mend our broken bones.
Yeah.
Evolution didn't have to do that. Like you said with horses, like we could have been just lame the rest of our lives, kind of thing. And some of us do end up with a disability because
sometimes broken bones are dang near impossible to.
Jonathan says they had their lizard alkalite using thaumaturgy to wake up sleeping allies without breaking their sanctuary or her sanctuary, 1 per action. That's a really good use of sanctuary. That's not a spell that you see very often. Because of its,
I don't know if I know that one.
Basically, it is you cast it on yourself, and if somebody tries to attack you, they make a wisdom saving throw, or they can't. Right?
Okay.
They either have to make a wisdom saving throw, or they can't. And the only thing that breaks it is
doing damage.
Basically breaking the sanctuary on your end. Do phoenixes cauterize their own wounds? I mean, they technically are creatures made of fire.
I was going to say, they bleed fire, maybe?
Yeah, they kind of bleed fire. They probably do burn a little quicker. They don't have, like, a specific regeneration, so I would assume, like, if it's cauterizing, it's not fast, but, yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
I have a feeling that, like, are they immune to magic damage?
Oh, okay. No, they have no magic, like, resistance.
Or sorry, immune to non-magic damage.
Sanctuary is not just they can't attack that turn. They have the choice to change their target if they want to.
Oh, okay.
So if you've got 2 people and one of them has Sanctuary and you're trying to attack them and you can't, you can just direct it to the other person instead.
What do you think about that purple? Purple?
Yeah, I like
dark.
It. Yeah, doing just kind of like an extra little dark on the edge there.
Yeah, I feel like it just kind of completes the look of it.
Civilizations need room. Humans can take care of each other because they're using a lot of resources to keep your recovery safe. Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
There's a theory that if civilizations get to interplanetary scales, habitable planets will become occupied more quickly than they can evolve new peoples of their own. Interesting. I do like first of all, we have to get past the great filters, right?
Yeah.
That's the big issue.
Well, and if you've been following along with the DART mission, we may have just figured out one of the great filters, and that is asteroid impacts, right?
Yeah.
And comet impacts, because we sent the DART mission off to crash into the asteroid, right? Mm-hmm. And they wanted to move it like 3 millimeters on its orbit, and they ended up moving it like 32 or something like that.
Wow.
Way more than they expected, and everyone is freaking out, and they're super excited about this because it's like, that means that if we see a planet-killing asteroid, which you got to remember, like, these things aren't going to come out of nowhere. If they're big enough to destroy the planet or kill everyone on it,
we're going to see them.
They're very bright because they're reflecting a lot more light. They have a very high albedo, and so we can see that.
I have a very high albedo too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're thinking of something else, buddy.
Go on, though.
You're thinking about the Boom Boom Room.
Yes, I'm thinking about the Boom Boom Room again.
But so we'll be able to see them a lot faster, and we'll be able to redirect them even earlier, even if they're big. We can hit them with even higher masses or multiple of them to get them to. All you got to do is when they're so far away, you just got to hit them just to nudge them just a teeny bit.
Oh yeah,
and it'll throw them off because
it's 1 degree even, right?
If that,
off of their, if that. You almost knock that paint over again. You got to be careful there, buddy.
I know.
At first, I was liking the white tips, but the purple definitely makes the rest pop. And then Casey's saying that she likes the white beak. She thinks that looks really cool.
White? Ooh, like it's the hottest part
of the... Yeah,
like
it's the hottest part. Maybe do the talons that way, too. To kind of like... Or the actual claw part of the talon.
Okay.
That way to make it a little bit extra. That's really cool.
Yeah, I might.
PBS's Spacetime's latest video covers ideas of civilization building timescales and whether or not we're one of the first in the universe. It's fresh on my brain. Yeah, I love when discussions about like advanced civilizations come through, and it could be true. Like everybody thinks like, oh well, why haven't we seen alien life?
Maybe we are the alien life.
Yeah, it's like we're the first kind of thing.
Yeah, or one of the first.
Sorry, galaxy. Sorry, universe.
Yeah, hopefully we can change.
Hopefully we'll stick to just our local cluster, like...
Well, human time
Phoenix
scale.
with frosted tips, Guy Fieri Phoenix. Welcome to Flavor Town. I really want to see a Blue Fire Phoenix. Blue Fire would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that would be similar. You would do really light blue in the center,
Mm-hmm.
and then work your way out to
Yep.
to the darker colors. And obviously, you can do whatever the hell you want when you're painting, but that's just like general fire advice is brighter in the center, darker towards the outside.
Yeah. Yes, no, but yes. Yes or no. Yes, no, but yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry. Welcome to Flavor Town Incinerates Party. Try my hot wings.
Here's
that's
my
a point
minion.
for Eric. I like that.
Here's my minion. He's red hot. His name's
Yep.
Frank. Just a bunch of puns about like hot, spicy foods and
Yep.
stuff. Like,
So I think Phoenix are pure flame. But if they had a body, they probably would make good food. At least that's what Einor thinks.
what would be the one like D&D monster you'd want to taste if you obviously wouldn't get poisoned or whatever.
Yeah, let's see.
Like what would be a monster in D&D you think would be like, yeah, that would make good food, or you think it would make good food?
It would have to be...
Obviously axe beaks are going to be up there because they're
Mhm.
basically just giant turkeys with axes on their face.
Typically you don't want to eat predator animals because
Yeah, they just don't taste as
they're
good.
they're stringier meat. Tarrasque steaks. Hydra meat, like we talked about that last time. Hydra meat could be pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Although I've never really tasted reptilian meat before.
Like snake or something.
Yeah.
Alligator. I've always wanted to try it.
Next time that Burger Bar
Does their
does
special.
their special and they have
They
like
usually only do
alligator
they do like
burgers.
a lot of it's like bison and stuff, which is basically just beef.
I saw them do alligator burgers one time though.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. And they've done kangaroo before as well, by the way. Which is that's a no eat animal for me.
A kangaroo?
Yeah.
I'd eat a kangaroo.
Yeah, you eat a kangaroo.
I would try
Whole?
nearly every animal.
Gator has the consistency of chicken but tastes like fish.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, I would like
Snake
that.
and alligator jerky is good. I'm assuming you mean jerky there, Jonathan, rather than Jerry. Obviously. Displacer steaks. The problem with like monsters in the monster manual is most of them are predators.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's like an Auroch.
I would want to try boulette, but that's just because
Yeah,
I
you're
love boulettes.
you're all about boulettes. So you love them so much you want to eat them.
Yep. I just want to gobble them all up like parents do to kids.
Brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus exists in D&D.
Yeah,
I
okay.
would love
All right,
a Bronto
all right.
steak.
All right. I bet it tastes like
Bronto
chicken.
burgers. Yeah,
I bet it tastes like chicken.
that's a Bobaverse reference too. Bronto
Yeah.
burgers. Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any others that like really jump out at me.
I mean, everything does. They're all predators. They'll
Yeah.
jump out at you.
Deep Roths are kind of like a herd animal. But Aurochs,
I would try flump.
you try. That's an aberration you're talking about.
I said
there.
anything. I would try anything
That's true. That's true.
as long as it didn't try. As long as it wasn't like, oh, you eat this and you instantly die. You
Mhm.
know.
Goat is amazing. Mm.
I like goat cheese for sure. So when I grew up seeing, and this is a Utah thing. I grew up seeing like exotic foods on TV and movies like sushi and stuff like that, and I say that because back then they were exotic to me as a kid.
Yeah.
Because we didn't eat that way. We were very stuck in our ways of like, here's the 5 restaurants we like to eat, and here's the 5 fast food restaurants, and that's it.
Yep.
Like we don't go anywhere else. We don't experiment or anything like that. And then as I got older, I started eating more exotic foods and started finding out like I love a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that as a kid I could have, you know.
What about giant snail?
Oh, like escargot,
Yeah. But like a full like snail steak.
snail snake,
Snail steak.
snail steak. Yeah, probably.
Giant walrus. Which is just
So
walrus.
the reason why I wouldn't try escargot now is because, and someone correct me if I'm wrong if you've had it, I believe it has all the organs and everything in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like no, I'm not gonna eat all that stuff, like, you know, the muscle and stuff, sure, but The rest of it, no thank you.
In the isekai light novel, my status as an assassin obviously outshines the hero. The protagonist survives on monster meat in a legendary dungeon while trying to solo it. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bear meat is a hesitation for me because of my fiance's pet name for me is my bear. That's the, yeah, I mean...
Oh, what if your fiance got a taste for it? You would be in trouble.
Ooh. Knucklehead trout. It is the fish of choice for all of 10 towns in D&D up in Icewind Dale.
Okay.
They fish it year round, and they have big like competitions on like who gets to fish.
I love
everything.
trout with a little
And
lemon, little butter.
They are literally like trout with a giant like bonehead, basically the bone skull type thing.
Cro-Magnon man trout.
Yeah. Mammoth. I would try mammoth. I'd love mammoth.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd try mammoth as well.
Which means I'd probably try elephant too. But let's get one more look at this guy because it is 9. I don't know if you know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some touch-up spots to do, but in the meantime, there's the Phoenix.
Love it. Yeah, the purple really looks good. Like.
Yeah, it's like the darkest part of the wing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it finishes it, right?
Yeah. Rime of the Frost Maiden had a quest about catching them. Yeah, exactly. Like you don't go to 10 towns and not have knucklehead trout, right?
Yeah.
But that's gonna do it, guys.
Yeah.
That was a successful stream. I had a lot of fun tonight. We laughed, we loved, we learned.
We cried a little. That was me. I ran out to the garage to cry. Sorry.
Oh, is that what that was? It wasn't just gathering these amazing moves
Yeah.
that
I'm good.
I've been playing with Kith ever since you brought her down. I've just been like moving her around a little bit.
Making laser sounds when she doesn't actually shoot lasers.
Yep.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody for joining us. Next week is our stream as normal. I think we'll try and get Preston on for that
Gotta
one.
do an art stream.
Yep. And then I think the one after that's going to be the day after Thanksgiving, so we'll see if we have one that week. We're not sure. Typically, like, that's kind of a break.
I read Bosco's, my favorite homebrew race to play. I read Breakfast.
Is breakfast.
And I was like, all right.
You know what? Maybe we'll have to print off a Bear Folk. We do have a couple like Bear Folk.
Yeah.
From
I
think from Titan Forge actually.
Yeah, probably.
From some cool Bear Folk because I too like a good werebear. But yeah, next so a couple streams, and I know we're gonna be taking a break at the first week of December.
Yes.
So that'll be Preston on his own, but that's coming up soon. Also, we've got our new episode coming out next Wednesday, episode 8, where we're finally out of Hollow Bend Keep. It has been a long road getting from there to here, but there we are. But until next time, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Obviously, after this video is over, leave a comment on it just to say how fun it was.
If you know anyone,
if you
know anyone that would like our content, please share it. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers. We're
Uh-huh.
only like 10 away.
Join our Discord and give us some recommendations for new monsters to print.
Yes.
We'll be continuing with this kind of putting them up on the list and letting people vote for them. And if you want to see new monsters added, you just got to let us know.
Yep.
Some good suggestions tonight. Love it, love it, love it. But thanks for, coming out and hanging out.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yes.
Till next time. Goodbye.
Bye.